How's it going, everybody? If you're like me, you might have an RT-81 by Fluance, and you are noticing that some of the records that you're listening to have some inner groove distortion. Um, in other words, the closer the stylus and the cartridge gets to the center of the album, the worse it sounds. You're noticing that, of course, it's in the name. It does sound distorted. The quality of the high end just sounds bad. It sounds almost like, I don't know, it's going through some kind of weird distorted filter or something like that. And if you're like me, you want to get rid of that. So, um, one thing that you'll always see when trying to get rid of inner groove distortion is people saying, well, did you align your cartridge? I mean, most of the time it's going to be, yeah. I mean, if you bought a Fluence, it comes pre-aligned and should be good. But people always ask because apparently that's the only cause of it, which is incorrect. So you can line up your cartridge perfectly, and you will still get intergroove distortion. Now, this to me seemed kind of hard to avoid. I was using the stock cartridge that came with the RT-81. I believe it's the AT-95E from Audio Technica, and I just wasn't satisfied with how it sounded. In fact, I even dreaded getting albums where some of my favorite songs were closer to the center because of how bad it would sound. And from what I've been noticing, the louder albums, the brighter albums on vinyl are going to sound even worse towards the center. Um, I don't want to call intergroove distortion a new problem. I mean, it's been there, but from what I've noticed, the louder pressings have gotten, the brighter they've gotten. They've if they're good, they typically avoid the center, but if they don't and they're just some kind of standard issue and they're still loud and they're still bright, the intergroove distortion is going to sound worse than, let's say, like an old school album where it wasn't too loud, the levels are good, and it's not pushing kind of those grooves to make it so it's that the cartridge has to be very accurate when it's tracking them. So if you ever listen to classical music or like light jazz, like they'll have like very long tracks on one side, and you don't really hear it distorting because it's not getting very loud. It's not really pushing those grooves. But in any case, that music does exist where it's super loud, and you want something to be able to handle it. So what I did, besides aligning the cartridge and such like that, was to get a brand new one. You can see it right here. It's the MP 110 by Nagaoka, I believe it's pronounced. And just from viewing tons of demos, you can search YouTube and just see tracking demos and stuff like that. This versus the Ortophone or other Audio Technica cartridges. You'll see that this one is very, very accurate, and it has no issue, or I should say, it has a much easier time with the inner grooves than the AT95E. Um, you can see that this one goes pretty close to the center. This is a very loud record, and it's very, very bright as well. And this one handles it much, much better than the AT95E. I can't guarantee you that you're going to get rid of intergroove distortion altogether. Um, I don't know what kind of level of cartridge or tone arm or turntable you need to like have like a pure, just almost digital quality when you're listening to one of your records. But I will say that this helped a ton. And then again, I was always skeptical. I always thought it was like just part of vinyl, and accepting that was kind of a flaw in the way it was designed. But again, if you want to minimize it a ton, which what I saw this one really did, I would go ahead and upgrade your cartridge to the MP110. Uh, Pretty easy to install. I know it's compatible with the RT-81, which is what really sold me on it. It's not too heavy in terms of grams. I forget if it's like 6.5 or something like that. I don't remember the exact number. But yeah, that's what I did to kind of help intergroove distortion on my end. Again, I was listening to like some old punk stuff, Fugazi. This is an AFI record, and this stuff can get pretty loud, and they press it all the way to the center. And again, it was just bothering me how distorted it was, and it just wasn't listenable in my opinion. So if you want to try to at least minimize it, again, I can't guarantee you that it'll go away completely, but if you want to try to minimize it in a way where that not a lot of people will really notice it, and you might notice it and such like that, I would definitely recommend this one. I mean, this made listening to vinyl a whole different experience. I don't know if it's focusing here. Yeah, but it made my vinyl listening much better. I don't dread the center as much. I always get kind of a little bit hesitant still, but no, this thing handles it really well. And I got off on Amazon for $150. I think the 1895E is around like $60 or $70. So this is kind of double the price of that. So it is kind of an investment. It really is. But if you can get this on sale, or you can get some kind of discount on it, or any kind of credits towards it or something like that, I would really, really recommend upgrading your Fluance, or maybe just turntable in general, with this cartridge, because I think for the money, the Ortophone Blue, I believe, is like $200, and from what I've seen, it still has intergroove distortion, so it pronounces it, and then some other ones around that price range still have that issue. So again, if you want something that's just accurate, it sounds awesome, can handle grooves in a very elegant way, I'll put it, then I would definitely recommend this one. So yeah, that's pretty much all the tips I have. Again, besides the basic stuff, like again the lining and all that stuff, making sure that the tracking force is good. I have this set at 2 grams exactly, using a scale for that. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, go ahead and put them in the comments section. How about yourself? What are you using right now for a cartridge? Do you see that it works really well, especially with the inner grooves, or have you tried this cartridge yourself? What do you think? I mean, I kind of swear by it, so it doesn't hurt to try it out. Awesome. Thanks for watching.